Hey guys, back at it again with Samson here. We're going to read another chapter together. All right, bring it together, Cap. Just a reminder. So tonight's homework for the weekend is going to be to read pages 243 to 257, which I'm going to do with you right now. And pen pal number 4 is due Friday, aka like today, if you're watching this video on Friday. So please get it done ASAP. Friday over the weekend. We need it done before Monday. So please get it done. We're begging you. Okay. So total warning here. I just cried reading the last chapter again, and we're going to read that together today. So where we're going to start off for this homework, we are going to start off after River tells us about the protest. Mina writes him a letter in response. We're on page 243, and reminder, we're reading to page 257. So sit back, relax, get your comfort object, get a blanket, and just enjoy. Here is Samson here. So March 22nd, 2009. Dear River, I have a gigantic math test tomorrow, but I just had to stop by the library and type to you. Thank you so much for your beautiful letter. I felt like I'd been to the rally with you. You're a really good friend to Mark and a really good friend to the mountains, and you're the bravest boy ever. I am proud to know you. I hope Mrs. Patel's brother is okay. When I picked up your letter from the post office just now, I saw an interesting old man. I've seen him walking around the neighborhood, but this is the first time I've seen him at the post office. He is Chinese and he walks with a cane and is so bent over that he always is looking at his shoes. Well, I watched him open up his post office box. It took him a long time to twist the dial, and he had to lean on his cane with one hand before pulling the little door open. Then he looked into the mailbox. There was nothing in there, but he stuck his hand inside and moved it around just to be sure. I felt sad for him and wondered who he was waiting to hear from. It made me think how you and I are lucky to have each other. Maybe we could start writing to that old man too, so he will have some letters in his mailbox. I want to tell you about Kiku's birthday present to me. I had to wait a whole month for it because the weather was too cold, but it was worth it. Kiku installed 2 sturdy foot pegs on the back of his bike so I could stand there and keep my hands on his shoulders and ride around the city with him. It's kind of scary, which is, I guess, what makes it fun. Anyway, yesterday afternoon, Kiku rode me all the way across town to the Hudson River. He weaved in and out of traffic, and when we went past buses, I had to close my eyes so I wouldn't scream. When we got to the edge of the city, to the river, where there's a long park with no cars, we got off the bike and walked along the water. Kiku showed me all kinds of secrets, like where the Italian men go to fish with scraps of butcher meat, and where the old piers have sunk underwater and left little bits of rotten pole for the seagulls to stand on, and how to rent a kayak, and the willow trees where the homeless people sleep. It was very warm, strangely so, 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Kiku said, now we're on page 245, it was because of global warming. There were so many people out enjoying the day after the long winter. Under one tree was, guess who? Anna Maria, Kiku's secret girlfriend. She was standing next to a cart full of mangoes, and he said, girl, you look good today. And she was like, you should have seen me yesterday. And then they kissed right in front of me. Anna Maria gave me a hug and said, I'm so sorry to hear about your grandmother. She called me Mimi because that's how she hears Kiku talk about me. I really liked that. It made her feel like family. And look at this mango cart. And now I am definitely craving mangoes, exactly how Anna Maria makes it. And let's see how that is. She explained to me how after school and on the weekends in the spring and summer, she sells mangoes on sticks with her uncle. She took a knife from her belt and peeled the mango in a few seconds with big strokes. Then she stuck the mango on a stick and slashed at it all around and sprinkled salt, lemon. Oh, this sounds so good. And red chili pepper all over it. If you guys have not had that, you must get it over the summer. They're all over the city. She'd cut the mango in such a way that I could bite large pieces of it off of the pit very easily. And my hands didn't get slimy because I was holding the stick. She said, this is the Mexican way to eat mangoes. I love it. It's the best thing ever. When you come to New York, we will have to eat some together. Oh my God, they're already making plans. I'm gonna cry. After we ate mangoes, I sat on Kiku's bike and Anna Maria put her iPod in my ears and she played MIA. And she held one handlebar and Kiku held the other, and they ran up and down the esplanade by the river and said it was my very own birthday roller coaster ride. So imagine Anna Maria on one side, Kiku on the other, and Mina sitting on the bike, and then he's just like zooming her through. So much fun. And then Anna Maria called Kiku mi amor and kissed him again. And she said she had to keep wheeling her mango cart up and down the river. I think she gets so many customers because she's so pretty. People just like to be near her. She's also really smart. She's the one who helped Kiku with his college essay. He never listens to anybody, but he listens to her. When I asked Kiku what mi amor means, he got embarrassed and said, nothing stupid. Tomorrow I'm going to ask Carlos what it means. He speaks Spanish too. And spoiler alert, I know a lot of Spanish. Mi amor means my love. So I thought all that was my present, but it turned out, now we're on page 247, there was more. I got up on the bike behind Kiko and he rode me all the way up to the George Washington Bridge. We rode a long, long time, 6 whole miles up to 178th Street. We stayed along the river where there aren't any cars, just people biking, jogging, rollerblading, walking their dogs. Usually Kiku's protective of me and doesn't let me do anything that he does. I knew the fact was that he was treating me like a friend, not a little sister. It was part of his present. I couldn't stop laughing, standing behind him on the bike. I probably looked like a crazy person, but I didn't care. The river stretched out silver to our left. The wind was so strong that Kiku's tears flew back at me. They felt sharp as needles on my cheeks. It was fun to see the bridge getting closer and closer and then to be right under it. When we got off the bike, my legs felt funny, almost like I couldn't walk because I'd been balancing for so long. I followed Kiku down a dirt footpath that led even farther under the bridge, and there, right in front of us, was a big red lighthouse. I'd never seen a lighthouse before. It was the best surprise ever. There was a plaque in front of the lighthouse, and we read all about it. Page 248. Okay, sorry. Okay, it was built in 1890, which is very old for America. And there's a children's book about it called The Little Red Lighthouse and the Great Gray Bridge, which was written in 1942. The plaque said that in 1951, the city was going to tear down the lighthouse, but a lot of people got very upset, mostly people who loved the book about the lighthouse, and they fought the city and they won. So the lighthouse stayed. That all made me think about your mama and you and Black Banks. It's nice to think that a bunch of people getting together to do something good for something they love. And here's a picture of the lighthouse. I love that story. I love that connection too. Like we're always talking about the connections that they make. Oh, it's beautiful. 249. Me and Kiku sat by the water on big cool rocks next to the red lighthouse, the bridge spanning above us. The river made long swirly circles around the jetty, and there were lots of boats going by. Across the way were little hills, almost like Garwal Mountains, but much smaller. Kiku said to me, I thought this was a place you and Dottie would have gone together. I felt sad missing Dottie, but I was also happy to be there with Kiku. The river was louder than everything, except the occasional truck on the bridge thumping heavy and loud. No ambulances or garbage trucks or honking cabs. No subway. We could hear the sound of cars on the West Side Highway, but somehow it was so far away and mixed with the river's voice that the cars sounded like trees swaying in a forest. I had not seen hills or sat on a big rock in many years. The city, the skyline looked blue and distant. It made me feel like we were all very small and unimportant. It's just when you are inside something that you forget that. But when you're outside of it and looking from far away, you can see. Kiku says that's called perspective. Kiku said across the river over the bridge was New Jersey, a whole other state, and Miss Thompson, the less superior state. Just kidding. Love you, Miss Thompson. He said he'd ridden his bike, page 250, over it once, and he'd sorry, Miss Thompson. If you're not in Miss Thompson and my class, we have an ongoing battle between Long Island and New Jersey, and every time Long Island wins. So sorry about that. We went over it once and then gone 20 miles into New Jersey to meet Daddy at his restaurant. It's a secret that even Mom doesn't know. She'd be really mad if she knew Kiku has ridden so far on his bike. He said he skipped school one day when he was worried about Mom and went to see Daddy to ask him what to do. Then he told me about the houses in New Jersey, how everyone has a lawn and lots of trees and it's peaceful. I agree, Miss Thompson. It's very peaceful in New Jersey. I'm happy for you. My parents work so hard. I want to get a good job and get them a house in New Jersey. I guess Jersey's winning the battle. Okay, you can go to Long Island too, Nina. I'm just saying. I said that to Kiko and he said, we'll work hard too, and then we'll take care of them. We shook hands on it and I felt very grown up. I was 13 years old, sitting under the GW Bridge in New York City with my brother, who trusted me with his secrets. Sometimes Kiku can be mean, but mostly he's sweeter than a big bag of gummy bears. When we started riding home, it was getting dark. I felt bad for Kiku having to take us all the way home, but he said I was light. The city looked twinkly, lit up against the dark. It got cold. My hands felt stiff on Kiku's back. The warm spring day had disappeared. By the time we got home, it was 9 o'clock, and Mom was, let's see, what was she? She was definitely mad. She pressed her lips together like she does when she's about to say no. She said that Mrs. Lau had come by and told her 2 more people in the building had been evicted that morning. Mom ran her hands through her short hair. She looked worn out and bitter. She said, we should pack a suitcase in case we have to leave here quickly. Kiku said, Mom, it's late and Mimi's tired. Mom sighed and put her hands on either side of my face. She stared at me and started to say something, but then she stopped. I said, it's okay. Let's pack tonight. I put a few outfits in the suitcase in my box of special things, and the 3 books Mom gave me for my birthday, and all of your letters, and all of Dottie's letters, and a paperweight for Mrs. Lau, and the lucky Buckeye. Kiko put in some of his stuff, and Mom added hers and Daddy's, and also some food and water in plastic bottles. The bag is still right by the front door, just in case. I better get off the computer now. There's a line of people waiting for it. Mina. Okay, we're going to read now River's response, and we are now on page 252. And this is now in March 27, 2009. Dear Mina, can you believe that they put that picture of me holding that dirty jar of water to the governor on the cover of Time magazine? Mom and Mama bought about 20 copies, and then Time sent us a big box full of them. So I'm including one here for you. He gave her a copy of the magazine. I'm fine. I'm not going to cry. Good, really good. Mama says this is the most exposure mountaintop removal has ever gotten. And now that people know about it, they will get mad about it. She says that Americans usually do the right thing if they know about it. And that just takes a long time to get their attention, especially if something bad is happening to poor people. When we go to town, everybody feels like it's perfectly fine to pat me or get real close to my face and talk about being proud of me. But if it helps to save the mountains, I don't care. The other day we were in Piggly Wiggly and old Mrs. Heap was in there shopping. She wouldn't even speak, just act like she didn't know us when Mama and I walked by, We walked by her, me pushing the buggy. I could tell that she said something, but I didn't know what. I just heard her mumble. But Mama has ears and eyes and everything like a hawk. So she heard her as plain as day. Later, Mama told me Mrs. Heap said, tree huggers, in this real hateful voice, like she was spitting. Mama just spun around on her heel and went back over to Mrs. Heap and said, I'm praying for you, honey, because you're a fool. Oh, Mama. And it was like she had cussed out Mrs. Heap or slapped her in the face, the way Mrs. Heap acted all shocked and offended. The opposite of this is that Miss Stindham told me that she was real proud of me, though. She asked me to stay after class one day, and I thought I might be in trouble for something. But then she looked at me like I was a grown-up, and she said, River, I want you to know that I'm proud to know you. I didn't know what to say, so I didn't say a word, although I guess I should have said thanks or something. Then she held out a little purple paperback book. Here, she said, and shoved it into my hands. This book is about doing the right thing, too. It's my favorite. I looked down at the cover, To Kill a Mockingbird. I want you to have it, she said, and I swear it was like there were little tears in her eyes. But then she straightened herself up and said, go on then, and turned me by the shoulders and walked me to the door. I finally managed to say thank you. She just told me to go on before I was late to my next class, but when I looked back, she was standing at the door watching me walk away. After the rockfall, you know that our basketball team has had a real hard time getting it all together again because we lost 2 of our best players, but I think it made us stronger too. And here is proof. We played Lexington Middle School the other day and we beat their socks off. Woo! We've never beaten them before, ever. I hadn't played in a game that good in forever and ever. And it reminded me why I love basketball so much, because it's like flying when you're going down the court, bouncing that ball. Zooming in and out of bodies, we're on page 255, the sweat running down your forehead and into your eyes, and the crowd chanting from the bleachers, River, River, and the cheerleaders shaking their pom-poms and doing the splits, and the announcer's voice a blur on the loudspeaker, and then I'm sailing through the air, taking a big jump as I do a bank shot, and then whoosh, the ball slices through the net. And then I realized that I had put the winning shot and the whole crowd was on its feet, everyone clapping and people hugging and so happy because we had been the underdogs for so long. But not anymore. I'm the announcer and River's team has won the game. Woo! Sorry. I couldn't help it. And then I realized that I'd put the winning shot and the whole crowd was on its feet, everyone clapping and people hugging and so happy because we had been the underdogs for so long, always getting beaten by the big city school. And finally, we were the little country school and we were the winners. While everybody else was celebrating, it seemed like the whole crowd, all the noise and movement and everything zoomed away, and all my attention went to Mark, who was sitting there on the sidelines with his crutches propped up on the seat next to him. He hasn't gotten his artificial leg yet, or his fake leg that will go where his real one was, like his prosthetic leg. Because they're still making it especially for him. But he didn't look sad that he wasn't out there with us. He just looked happy for us. All the other guys were on page 256. All the other guys were trying to lift me on their shoulders, but instead I said, no, let's go to Mark. And we did. We all went over there and huddled around him and did a big group hug. I was glad that we didn't lift him up on our shoulders. It wouldn't have seemed right since he lost his leg. Instead, we went down to him And that felt right. That felt better. I know that some people think sports are stupid and get too much attention. They probably do get too much attention. I mean, nobody's ever had a pep rally for the people on the academic team or the band, and that's not right. But sometimes sports are a real good thing because they can remind you that if you work hard for something, you can succeed. And being a basketball player is hard. You have to be a hard worker to be an athlete and practice every day and be determined. So it's kind of like being a musician or writer that way. And I know winning is not everything. That's not what I'm saying. Even though it felt real good to not be the loser selected in middle school for once, it felt even better to know that we had played a good, fair game and we had worked hard to do the best that we could. And guess what? Even Sam Brock, that big turd I got in a fight with a few months back, he came over and told me that I had done a good job. I thought that was pretty big of him. By the way, I think that Kiku's present was pretty much the coolest thing I've ever heard of. He makes me wish I had a brother. Your best friend, River. I'm not going to cry. I'm fine. I'm good. I just love this book so much. Okay, a lot to process. My heart was not prepared. I'm not prepared. So my friends, that's part one of your homework. If you read along with me, if you want to take any notes, feel free. I'm excited to talk to you all about it on Monday. But make sure that you please finish pen pal number 4. The only way this project works is if you guys do those letters for your pen pals, because it's only fair if you write one that you get one back. And if you get one back, that you write one for your pen pal. Okay. I'm very proud of you all. Thank you for being wonderful. I hope you have a very restful and happy weekend. If you need anything, please email me, Ms. Thompson or Ms. Samuels. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on Monday. Bye, friends. Thank you.